Hola, amigos, and welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding livestream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw.
And I'm your host, David Khourshid.
Together we are coding compadres, animation amigos, Boolean buddies, and keyframe companions.
Yeah, we'll be creating an animation from scratch live using HTML and CSS. So we're happy to answer any questions you may have. So please reach out in the chat or comments. This is going to be a fun one, and I really don't think we need JavaScript on this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get away with just CSS here. So we've got this next gen cards animation. You sent this over.
I did.
By Ro Minen for Zeta Suite. We've got the dribble link in the show notes. So check that out. It's pretty cool. So we've got 6 cards alternating blue and purple. We have some 3D rotation happening, as well as rotation kind of around this circle as well. So there's a lot of interesting little bits to it. And each of the cards actually rotates around its center at one point in the animation.
Yeah, it sort of does a, I don't know, varial flipper. No, not varial. Just it does a weird sort of flippy thing. But yeah, this is a perfect example of taking something that looks complex and breaking it down into smaller problems. So the first problem is getting the cards rotated around the central point, and then getting the cards rotating themselves, and then, just figuring out all of them, because essentially we're just rotating one card and multiplying that by 6.
Right.
And then if I could count right, yep, it's 6.
Yeah, it throws me off the offset nature of them. I'm hard to count. Right. So yeah, let's get into it, I guess. So we've done just the very basic setup here. We've got our cards container, and we have 6 cards in there, and we have CSS variables, one for the total on the parent, and then one giving the index of each of these cards, so that we can use that information for offsetting and doing different things. Let's try that out. And there's really not much going on as far as the setup of the actual cards yet.
That feels better.
Really?
Yeah, just the sizing of the cards.
Little bit.
I think. Let me double check. Measure this out. We have, oh geez, I can't read that. 240 by 390. So let's see, 390 divided by 240.
Cats is
1.625. So, and we could even with that. So height 10m, width calc height times 1.625. I need to make these card measurements perfect, just for my own. And then far height. Cool. Yeah, so I put it as position absolute because I immediately know that when we do any sort of rotation-y thing, having everything be absolute at the beginning makes things a lot easier, because then it becomes, all right, let's just rotate them, around some central point. Is my thinking.
Wait, we could do grid layering as well, to have them all
on top of each other.
But okay. I think we might we could probably use position absolute. Yes, my cat is joining us for today's stream. She's very interested.
All right, welcome,
in cards.
Cat. So we have a guest.
Yes,
on our
new
stream.
3 framers. But I'm thinking we might actually put like the width and the height on the cards container to kind of get everything centered there, and kind of set the main area that the cards are distributed along. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Whatever works.
With him. Not. I don't know. Let's go grid layering for now. We'll go back to absolute if we need to.
All right. So I'm studying the animation. We have an animation where it rotates around its center. So it's doing it around the y-axis. And then it, yeah. So I'm guessing these cards will actually need to be, hold on. I'm looking at this animation again. All right. Yeah, feeling we're going to need to do that. So we have each of the cards. And inside, just to make this a lot easier to work with, we're also going to have a, oh, wow, that didn't work.
Yeah, we're gonna need inners for sure.
Yep. Equals card inner. Okay. Wow, multi-cursor is just weird. Can I format this?
Yeah.
There we go. Cool. Hey, cool pattern. I dig it.
Yeah. So I've got things rotated now. Which this all probably needs to move on to the card inner setup. But yeah. Basically, we're using those CSS variables like we've done many times before to kind of do a decimal value of the card's index compared to the total, so that we can just then multiply that by one turn and have and get this kind of rotation around a circle.
So hold on, that let's see, CSS rotate. Can't believe I forgot. So the rotate CSS function takes just one value. That is weird. Unless we do rotate 3D, right?
Correct. And right now this is just primarily for the position because we're rotating it and then we're translating it. So it rotates in this case, like it rotates, like 10 degrees and then translate it off 90%.
So I'm wondering if this is the same as rotate Z. If so, then nothing should change right now. If I do rotate Y,
yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is a cool effect.
Very cool. Nice. Okay, so we know that rotate Z is equivalent to rotate, which definitely makes sense because Z is the axis that's coming out at you. And so when you're looking at a website, you could think of X and Y as up and down, and then Z coming straight out at you. So I'm just going to rotate Z, and that's going to be this calc_var D times one turn. So I'm just moving things to a CSS variable. It's going to make things easier. Var rotate Z. Yeah, okay. So everything still works. We're doing good. Yeah, let's see. Just going to try something, rotate card. And so this is going to be rotating the card. Yeah, I guess it is still about the Z axis. So from transform. Okay, so we do want, so where we're translating X and rotating X. Actually, hold on. Sorry, we'll call this rotate card X. So we need some sort of way to, I wish we could just animate a CSS variable. I'm trying to think through this.
Remember?
It's
relatively fresh syntax. Let me
all right, I'm excited for this.
So So if we go to CSS and then at property, I believe it is. Property, yeah, there we go. X. Let's see. I think we can just do it as like this. So at property, we declare rotate Z as a, I believe, here it's initial value. Let's see. I always forget what the syntax is. Syntax length angle. That one.
Okay. Card X, 1 second, linear infinite. Okay, let's see if that works. It's not working.
Not working.
Oh, because you have property rotate Z and I'm animating just Z, which does not exist.
Correct.
Okay, so now let's try it.
Hey,
whoa.
Look at that.
Is that what we want? Oh, well, so the rotate Z, all right, I called it rotate X. So in theory, if I wanted to rotate X, then I could do this.
Yes.
Okay, so now if I change this rotate Z to rotate X, see what happens. Still waiting.
Currently nothing. Off here. Okay.
See if it needs that. Haha, it does. Weird.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Yep. So we've got some different properties that we can animate. We'll also need kind of the offset, I think, for the cards. Let's see. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to call this rotate C static, and that's because what we're really doing is we are starting from that static position, but we are also adding another rotate C. So
yeah, you can do it that way if you want. Okay.
So let's see what happens here. And they're all spinning. Nice. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so now if we do this, we're gonna get some madness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Slowing this way down.
Yeah, it's a bit nauseating.
Yeah.
But wow, that works. That's amazing.
And let's just do once for now, so that I don't vomit. That's looking good. Good here. Okay. So we've got rotate Z, rotate X. We also need one for offset. So let's do that. And this one will be a length. Initial value. And what we'll do here, offset as %. And this we can create offset and that should expand things in and out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why we need card inner dot card.
I've got card inner down below. Up here.
Oh, okay, cool. And so there's no styling on the card, right?
Right. The card is
Okay.
just setting the width and height, but it really doesn't necessarily need to. The inner card could be doing that. But yeah, the reason that we need an inner is because of, let me
well, it's because of the transform radius, right?
because of the way the card spins around the center at
Yes.
around 2 seconds of the animation. That I don't believe we'll be able to combine with any of the other transforms in a worthwhile way.
Yeah, so if we do this, then see if we can get some. Okay, so now it's doing a whole bunch of spinny stuff. So yeah, now we no longer need the Z rotation on the, because we know that the Z rotation of the card itself is going to be static, but the inner card, that's where it actually changes. See?
Well,
so we have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I'll show you we're going to kill the animation on the card, and yeah, so that's correct. We have that. Let's make it linear infinite, unless you don't want it infinite.
That's fine.
But yeah, so just like the animation, we have it rotating about its own center, and so that's the card inner. Yeah, and so we could actually employ the same. We have rotate Z, rotate X, so we could say that we're going to transform rotate Z bar rotate Z, and that way we could also just give it a y-axis rotation too, and I think that goes first, right? Rotate Y, rotate X, and let's just say 10 degrees. I don't know. So we could say here that this is rotate Z, 0 turn and 1 turn.
Well, so one of the things we can potentially do here is just have one animation on the parent, and then those CSS variables being used in the inner card as well.
Yeah, sure. Because it's going to cascade down, so that makes sense.
I think we have to set that property here, and then that should work. Let's move. Yeah, in theory, we can. Oh.
I'm making the cards a little bit more reasonably sized according to the viewport.
Well, so just change the font size on the parent there.
Oh,
that's okay. That's the beauty of M,
I suppose, or Rem.
Or Rem, but in this case,
you beat me to it. So I'm just going to do like 5p min for the font size, which will make it tiny. No, it won't make it tiny. Oh, that's okay.
So if we have actual text inside the cards, like we want these to be a little bit
bigger. Okay, I think that's more reasonably sized. 1 or 2.
I'm gonna bump that up because on my viewport needed.
Okay, cool. So we had the slanted or tilted X rotation. That's working. And so to choreograph this, we have X rotation. Well, actually, first it rotates on the Y-axis, and then it rotates on the X-axis, and then it flattens out.
Yeah.
So Y-axis, X-axis, flat. Yeah, that's what it does. So
I think the only thing we need on the card inner is that rotate Z, and then the X we want on the parent.
yeah, sure. So yeah. Oh, okay. So it rotates on the X and Z axis. It never rotates on the Y axis. Sorry. Don't know why I said that. All right, so you're putting that all in the rotate card X.
Card, we'll name it that.
Okay, so yeah, just looking through here, we have again the well, it starts off with the spinning thing, but I'm starting off from flat, which is the center of the animation, the middle of the animation. So it starts off flat, it rotates on the Y axis, and then it does a little spinny spin on the, or sorry, X axis, and then it spins on the Y axis. So cool. We have from, then I'm just going to say
so we probably want to do more like 0%, 100%, and then 33% and 66%.
Yeah. All right, so on 33%, it's rotating around the, what did I say, the X-axis. So rotate X, this is 0.5 turn, we said. And do we have to copy these over? I'm guessing no.
It'll smoothly transition it from whatever it's changed. Like it should be treated as any other kind of property or animation.
Okay, so then we could get rid of this. Although it's doing a bit of spinning.
Yeah, so you probably want to leave it locked in.
Yeah, okay,
like that.
Makes sense.
Until it's actually animating.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. So it spins, it rotates, does something really weird.
So we can name these, something more user friendly. So like card spin, and then nice. Card rotate, card spin.
All right, which one is which?
So card spin, I consider. Sorry, card rotate and card tilt. Card tilt is just kind of the slight angle of it, and then card spin.
So that's the x-axis.
Right, that should be the x-axis. So we'll do card tilt on the parent here, and then we'll do this as card spin. There you go.
Cool. Let's try it out. It does X, then it spins, then it goes
back around,
which is a little weird.
Yeah, so I guess at let's leave off card spin for now and just see if it doing what we want.
Okay,
that's strange. Card inner as card spin with rotate Z, then rotate X as card tilt. Like that's
weird because between 33 and 66%, it should stay the same.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Well, one thing we can do do a border change for our different steps. Start out red.
There. Okay, yeah.
Us in. I don't know why it just suddenly, oh, because of the offset. Why is our offset not in? That's the jump there. So if we take off offset, that should prevent the jump.
Wow, and indeed it does. That's really weird.
Card. Okay, so card tilt goes back to 0. Let's see, 50. Back around. So one thing, we don't want a full turn like that. We want it. So you want to start the animation where they're flat? Is that the plan?
Yeah, just to make things simpler.
Okay,
yeah.
So we've got card tilt, and then it goes to just more of a
maybe even less than that, but yeah.
Might be the opposite direction. Let's see. Got like a but why is that so why is that so dramatic? I know one turn is, a lot
subtler. Yeah, well, let's stick with 0.1.
Yeah. Okay.
And then so it goes to 0.1, and then we spin it, so we go from 0 turn to 1 turn. Whoa. Okay, so tilt, spin. Wow.
And we'll leave it at card spin 1 turn. Okay, so red. Yeah.
I wonder if instead it's 0.5 turn. Like, I feel like in the original animation it was just doing a little half spin. Let me double check.
Yeah.
So we're tilting.
No, it does a full spin.
All right, I guess we just need to make it go slower, but we could tweak that in post.
Yeah, the overall animation be slower, but getting there. All right.
Yeah.
But see how easy this is to control so far? Like we, once we figured out, what we needed to do, we can get those locked in as variables, and then we're just animating those variables. We're not having to worry about overall transforms. We can just control individual properties.
Yeah. Let's see if I could smooth this out. For whatever reason, it's just very not smooth on my computer. Then again, I didn't get my new MacBook Pro yet, so
I'm not on an M1 yet either.
All right, so now the offset is a little bit weird.
Yeah, let me. There we go. I had it as length, but it wanted percentage. It really like.
I feel like the overlap is wrong. I just can't put my finger on it. Like why it's the corners are going through each other.
Yeah,
It's probably just because of the source order of the cards, and how we're applying the initial rotate Z static
right.
transform on it. So if you do it negative, then it might just magically fix things. We'll see.
Yeah, it's like once the animation reaches a certain point, they just snap into a weird overlap.
Yeah, it still does it. That's so weird. Both? Hmm.
Z static or one turn.
Oh, you know, that might be my faults. There we go.
Okay, it
It
just
was my
needed a
fault.
little bit of a
Yeah.
turn at the start.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know why it feels jagged. We're doing some just linear transitions. So
Yeah, it definitely could use
let's apply some root styling, my favorite using 0.51. There we go.
nice. One thing we can do as well is do like a translate Z. That help with the layer. Calc. Yeah, that helps so that they're not immediately on top of each other. There.
Okay. I'm just playing around with the staggering, just adding a little flavoring. I don't know if it looks good though, because it does like it rotates on the x-axis in sync, and then or I don't know if it does it in sync actually.
Yeah, they're offset. That's
okay. Yeah, fair enough.
in that order.
Changing the perspective a little.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, maybe not that much.
Typically around 1,000 is a good like gives you enough of like a depth perspective without getting too wild.
Yeah, I typically go with 1000 as just a default. So cool.
Go. Yeah. Nice. I think so. First step, they're offset, and they're actually changing rotation in another way, but I interpret it this way. Fine. Flat, tilted, from tilted, back to flat. Right. Flat.
Yeah, looking nice.
Some 0 pixels, and let's just see that without the edges there. Um, Adding now hard indicators, a little
Nope.
chip.
No, not exactly. Let's see, background color, just a little darkness, and that's because you know what, I really like this syntax here. What is opacity? What would be the, is that a length? It's not length, it's unitless. So
The alpha.
yeah, the alpha value. Looking it up, MDN, my best friend, is not telling me.
Trying to do hex alpha.
Formal definition. Oh, alpha value. Okay, cool. So it's just gonna put this as alpha. So the syntax is alpha value. The initial value is 1. And so I could just say, here, let's just cover this all. And we have an error somewhere.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Okay, so it's all black, which is fine. I promise you I will fix that. So we have alpha 0 over here. When it's tilted, just give it alpha 0.1. Whoa, okay. Okay. Alpha 0.
Is alpha value a legit one?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. So
Or
probably just
maybe not.
number is all we need there.
Okay, yeah, let's try number. Maybe it's getting confused. It's like, what is an alpha value?
Yeah. A little more extreme and see if that's working. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, it's working all right. So now we could just let's see, probably just add a mixed blend mode to the parents. multiply or something. See what happens.
Need to add that to the
Oh, I don't know.
element there.
I never remember, to be honest. Okay, well, anyway, this was worth a shot. I mean, I just want it to give it that effect that it was like rotating away from the light.
Yeah.
And I think it does that. I don't know. If we do like alpha 0.5, just making sure it's still there.
Oh, I did.
It's gone.
I did background color. Hold on. That's the problem. Wait for it. Go.
Uh-huh. Nice. Cool.
Yeah, you could get really clever with the index value too, like determining its position to the light source and all that.
Yeah, but otherwise, I'm happy with this.
Yeah, I dig it. Real quick, let's add a little chip there. Let's see.
Oh, you're already doing that. So after, cool, nice little chip.
You're adding another a highlight layer too.
You got it. Yep. Yes, I am. So I'm going to put the border radius on the parent actually, just so everything can inherit from it. And this is actually going to be fun because I'm going to say transform rotate. And since the rotation is around the, I keep forgetting, the z-axis, right?
Like the x-axis for the tilt.
Yeah, but the z-axis for the
for the
count.
Yeah, for the card spin.
And so yeah, we call that card spin. That's right. Okay, so with no extra work, that or actually no, I don't even need to animate that because that's basically going to stay in the same place. I'm going to get this an opacity of like, oops, like nothing.
Yeah, I think you'll need that on the element itself in order to get it wanting. See, it's not rotating with the card. Which
yeah,
is...
but you have that before on there. So actually, here I got an idea because I only want to do it to the one on the right. You know, the rightmost one. I just don't know which number that is.
Yeah.
That is number 6. That's the last one. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to just give this a highlight. And I'm going to move this highlight stuff over here. Cool. So now only that one is going to have like a little glow to it. It's going to be ultra realistic. All right, so it's rotating with that, which, you know, we expect. But we want the Yeah, I'm just going to put card last. And so card last is going to have, actually, no, I don't need to do that. I don't know why I keep over engineering things. Anyway, this is going to say transform, rotate Z, and we're going to do the opposite of the card spin. So it's going to spin in the opposite direction, and that's going to basically cancel it out, hopefully. Let's see if that works. It does. Cool. So now all we have to do is make it huge. So we're going to scale like 4. I can't math right now.
I think we just need to up the height to be the same kind of ratio as the width and height.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like that.
Math.
That should work.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, but it's uneven, so we need it to be.
Yeah, we could do the with like 200%. That's probably gonna work. Okay, so sort of works.
Yeah, I think now like the center
should
is
definitely
off.
be bigger.
Center is off on the rotation. So
I'm taking off overflow hidden just so that we could see what exactly we're working with. Oh, okay. So this highlight needs to be centered. So we could say top. Right. I'm just gonna do negative. What is it? 200%. So
probably just.
Let's just do this. Right, and then this is going to be 5/2. Something like that. All right. Yeah. Thanks. Or unless there's a way to see that, that's why I was thinking of scaling it, because scaling it is probably going to be the easier thing, and we could scale from the center. So if we have, height 100, or width 100, height 100, and then we just scale it. Here, let's just try that real quick. So scale 5, and hopefully it's centered. Yeah, it should be centered. So there we go. That looks good. Yeah, that's what we want, except maybe not scale 5. Scale 3 probably will do it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you read my mind there. And we could probably have introduced the white sooner.
Yeah.
So maybe transparent 30. And maybe give it more prominence. So
yeah, and this is something
working, but
what's that? It's working.
Okay.
Looks right to me.
Yeah, let's just make sure with the
totally fine.
Cool. Yeah. That's a bit much.
And this is something we could add that highlight to all of the cards, and adjust the position based on that eye value. But for now, we're just adding a little bit of a nicety.
Yeah, that works. Cool. And then we could tweak this for years.
But yeah, this is all CSS animation. Nothing too complex overall. Like it definitely could be a little cleaner. But we've got a very nice setup for animating. This property syntax is newish in just pure CSS, but you can actually declare these in JavaScript with wider browser support. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's definitely there. I like it.
Yeah, it's really nice.
All right. Well, yeah, I think we can summarize this one. Mostly just focused on the 3D transforms with CSS variables and like the individual kind of controls that we set up.
Yeah.
Let me organize the code just a little bit more. Up of the card. Okay. Oh. All right. So yeah, if you're watching live, stick with us. We're gonna kind of summarize this, so it's a good thing to watch. And yeah, we'll be right back. Hola, amigos, and welcome to Keyframers. I'm Stephen Shaw.
And I'm David Khourshid.
Let's take a quick look at this 3D transform animation setup that we've got going on. So for this card animation, we've got a cards container and then 6 individual cards inside of there. We've got CSS variables for the total and then for each card's index in there. And what this does is it allows us to handle like the offsets and different things like that in a similar way to what we've done in a lot of our previous animations. We've got this static rotation right here based on kind of the decimal value of that index divided by the total. So that's what gets our cards all rotated around, which is awesome. But for the actual animation, we wanted like some really easy ways to control this. So we actually set up CSS variables as property declarations. And this is relatively newish in the CSS spec, but you've been able to do this for a while. In JavaScript, I think it's css.register property. Right, and that's the same basic syntax as this CSS here, but now with app property, you can just do it straight up in the CSS without having to do that in JavaScript. But what this does is it tells the browser what you plan on storing in these CSS variables so that they can be properly transitioned or animated, as we're doing in this case. So, for example, the offset here, we're telling it it's a percentage syntax. So we expect a percent value with an initial value of 0%. Our card spin is an angle. Card tilt is also an angle. And then alpha is just a number. And then within our actual card animation, rotate card animation here, we have 4 steps, essentially. On the first step, this is kind of the flatten. So that's this frame right here. And then it goes into a tilt, and then the cards spin, and then they kind of flatten back out. So on the flatten, we have no spin. We have just the tiniest bit of tilt to help with browser rendering. And then when we go to tilt, we rotate those a little bit more, 0.1 turn, negative 0.1 turn. And then when we want them to spin, we adjust the spin value so that they go all the way around 1 complete turn. And we also bump out the offset a little bit, and then everything kind of resets at the end of the animation. But by just controlling everything in these CSS variables, we can use those where we need to in the actual transforms. So We have the offset here for how far the cards should be away from the center. And then we have the card tilt for kind of how much they're facing the camera, if you will. And then the card inner, the element inside of there, is actually using the card spin value so that it can rotate around its own center there while still having the same kind of 3D rotation. So that's really cool. Any other little bits on that?
Yeah, just keep in mind that the property syntax is supported in Chrome and Edge and not in Firefox or Safari. So use it, with caution.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend with the browser support right now to use the CSS register property, JavaScript API. That'll be a little wider browser support. Let's see. Well, it looks like Firefox and Chrome's and Safari. Sorry, Firefox and Safari may still not support that, but at any rate, it's a great way to be able to control individual parts of some kind of complex animation with just CSS variables. But you'll want to make sure that you're checking your browser support and maybe just using it as a progressive enhancement. If a browser supports this, then it can get the fancy animation. All right. Well, yeah. I guess that's all for now. You wanna take us out, David?
Sure thing. You can watch the full process of creating this animation for a deeper dive into each technique in the full live stream links right below. Leave us a comment if you have any questions.
And our show is supported by our sponsors, CodePen at codepin.io, CSS Tricks at css-tricks.com, Stately at stately.ai, and viewers like you. You can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers and subscribe to our channel for more great content. We've got all those links down below. Thanks so much for watching. Adios, amigos.
Adios.